If you've ever had a hankering to step into a fairy tale-like destination and see palaces and castles and just magnificent caves, then I have the day trip for you. Today we're going to go to Sintra, and I have lots of tips and tricks to share about how to make your day very special and how to make the most of it, because there are a lot of little time traps you can fall into here. My first tip of the day is to make sure that your train card is topped off before you get to the station. Now, we are leaving from the Rocio station in Lisbon to get to Sintra, and it gets really busy. Everyone wants to go check out the palaces, and you're going to have to wait in a very long line if you want to fill up your train card again. So I suggest doing it the day before if you're at the station, or just making sure you buy enough initially. We actually ended up missing the first train because I thought I had enough money on there and I did not. It's only €2.30 each way to get to Sintra, so it's very affordable. And just make sure you add some extra money to your card. Now when you get to Sintra, there will be an option to do these 24-hour buses. This is a really great and affordable way to get around. I really don't suggest walking up to the castles. It's going to eat into the time you have to see all the different attractions, and with the bus you could hop on and hop off, and it hits all of the major sites that you'd want to see. So we made it to the Pena Palace, just took the bus up, and I'm pretty excited to go see it. Our tour is at 1:30, so we have a little bit of time in between. I definitely recommend buying the tickets online for a 5% off discount, and you don't have to wait in line once you get here, you can just scan them in. First stop of the day, this small cafe up here. We decided to do a bit of exploring as we wait for our tour time, and I'm pretty excited about it. We are looking for the lakes, but it is a pretty steep downhill walk, so we will have to make it back in time for the tour. We'll see. The Pena Palace has lots of beautiful gardens to explore. This in itself almost felt like it could be a whole half of the day, just walking around and looking at the different structures and animals and beautiful little lakes around the palace. Whenever I go to places like this, I'm always thinking in my head, like, dang, people live like this. Like, you live like this? That's so nice. So we explored the gardens a little bit and then headed back up to the palace. So this palace was built in 1854, and it was designed by the German architect Wilhelm Ludwig von Eschwege, which is a really cool name and kind of a mouthful. He brought a lot of influences from Germany's castles, and you can kind of see that here. There's a big mix of different kinds of styles of architecture, but the overarching one is Romanticism. We made it inside. We had to wait a little bit in the sun, so it might be a hack to actually just show up a little bit late and then just walk around the line and go in. It's pretty. The palace has UNESCO World Heritage status, and it's clear to see why. There are some beautiful details here, especially regarding motifs and the sea. So you'll see different little details like ropes and shells that are carved in because they have this deep reverence for the ocean and seafaring. So it's really cool. Their attention is definitely in the details. If you're going to be in Lisbon, I would say Sintra is a must-do destination. Is it uncultured of me to say this place looks kind of like a mini golf course? Definitely, but I just love the colors here. They're super vibrant and beautiful, and there's a really nice breeze coming in. We decided to skip the tour for now since the line is so long. It's calling for like the previous hour's tour, so it's going to take at least an hour to get in the house. You can pay a little extra to go inside and walk into the palace to walk up here. Pretty cool. I would definitely pay the extra admission to get to walk into the palace itself. I really think that's part of the sightseeing experience, as well as the educational experience of getting to see the bedrooms of the king and the queen. It's really cool too. You could do this castle walk. I definitely don't recommend this if you have a fear of heights, but there are stunning views up here, and it's unlike anything I've ever experienced. From here, there's a pretty stellar view of the Moorish castle. So the Moorish castle is a really cool medieval castle, and it's one of the best preserved ones. So I definitely recommend checking that out, and I will have a video about how to visit So please subscribe if you'd like to stay tuned for more travel guides and videos about Portugal. Now, the other attraction we're going to today, as a sneak peek later, is the Quinta da Regaleira. So there are upcoming tips and tricks.
The view is spectacular, and there's a lot to see up here, including the Moorish castle.
The Moorish castle is probably one of my favorite things to see in Portugal. It's super cool and a very unique experience. But back to the Pena Palace, which is also a really cool and unique experience. I mean, you get to walk inside the castle itself and see the rooms and all the little cutlery. I mean, people live like this. This is so nice. Like, imagine having dinner there. And whenever I'm in a setting like that, I always think, wow, what did this smell like when they were having feasts? Like when they had freshly baked bread and stews and, I don't know, roasted chickens or something. Also, I found this room really cool. The king actually painted this, and you could see the palace within the painting itself, which I thought was awesome and kind of self-referential. And I was like, dang, this guy's talented. And here is his cute bed. I was like, oh, this is like Harry Potter kind of vibes. And the courtyard itself was very beautiful. I absolutely love the tiles in Portugal. There's just so much attention to detail. And these turtles, they really spoke to me. And it's cute too. It's like along with the seafaring references, there's like this little shell. If you see that little fountain, it kind of looks like an oyster or something. I just love the connection to the sea. Look at the ropes on the left here. It's just so beautiful. It kind of reminds me, I know this is very American, but of Disneyland when they theme everything and it all kind of fits together well. It's just such a cute theming, like the ocean. And then this is the baked goods like section of what the chefs would use, and I just thought this was so modern looking. It's so adorable to have little dog cakes. Like, what? Who thought of these things? This is awesome. Overall, this was a wonderful experience.
I love a good drawbridge. That's so cool.
Our next stop is a really cool place, probably my favorite in all of Sintra.
Be prepared to walk a lot. We got off the bus at the city center and decided to walk just 11 minutes, but a little uphill.
The Quinta da Regaleira is an amazing and stunning estate, so if you're a big fan of things like Harry Potter or Narnia and you just love mysterious, cool, and very immersive experiences, I definitely recommend checking this out. As you walk through the estate, there are all these different caves and things to see and do, and it feels really like a fantasy novel because you'll just stumble upon these things. And one of the most famous is the initiation well here. It goes almost 90 feet down into the earth. It's really, really cool. Very much reminds me of Harry Potter. There's these circular staircases that you go through 9 different levels, and it's really satisfying to walk through and keep looking up and down. The scale of it is really amazing, and it makes you feel like you are in some kind of fantasy. Like, when you go through this, it's just not a normal everyday experience. So I definitely recommend checking this out. And there's something about places with moss growing everywhere. Like, I love that there's like this kind of algae or moss growing on the walls. It makes me feel like I've stepped into another universe, or that I'm about to go on some grand quest and there's like, you know, the wizard waiting at the bottom of this well. Super, super duper cool. Once you get to the bottom of the well, that's where the adventure continues, or really begins. So if you're claustrophobic, this might not really be for you, but there's some pretty exciting caves and things to explore right underneath this well. There's something incredibly enchanting about this quinta. I mean, I have never really been to a place this extensive before that feels so naturally built in a way. Like, it just feels like this stuff has been here for ages. These cave networks are definitely just something I was really interested in. It just scratches this itch in your brain. You can come out and see the light, which is very reassuring. And there's this beautiful, again, like mossy, algae covered alcoves here. You can tell that this is a very small cave. It's kind of scary too. I don't know. I'll be scary if something popped out. And this is kind of when I messed up and totally got lost. So in that network of caves, there are more wells. So this is one of the lesser known, kind of like an initiation well. It's still very tall. We were still very much underground. So it was beautiful to look at this. And I was mesmerized by it and just looking at it. And then all of a sudden, I had no idea where my family went. So I thought they went up these steps. So I went up the steps.
Did you guys go up this way?
And it was dark, so I was using this flash and was like, completely alone and getting a little creeped out, I will admit.
I am in front of this really cool thing and properly lost. I went up the stairs in the cave system and then my family was not behind me. So I ended up in this, what is the unfinished well. And I don't know. Now I'm lost. This is what I came out of.
There was like rope saying don't exit here. So I was like, okay, clearly I've made a mistake, but I was too creeped out to go back down.
And clearly you're not supposed to come out of there, but there was like a path up. So now I am lost. Lost as that TV show. So I'm gonna try and figure out how to find my family. They are somewhere in the caves below me. All good though. This entire place is full of caves and wells and lots of little different systems. So I have no idea how I'm going to find them again, especially if we don't have service. But it's so spectacular here. I don't really mind as long as they're not freaking out. I can just, hopefully they just keep on exploring. The lady told me to find the tennis courts. I think I see my dad. He's a very tall man. Yay, there he is. There he is. That's my dad. Where's my dad? I did not expect this to be the tennis court. I guess I was looking for something more like green and white, but it makes sense now that I think about it. This system of caves, houses, and just little hidden nooks and crannies would make an amazing version of MTV Cribs. I'm telling you, this place is really a great place to spark your imagination. Just everything is really thought out and detailed. I couldn't really see myself getting into caves in real life. Like literally getting into them, just really not my thing, but it's fun like in a controlled environment like this. It's kind of spooky and really feels like you're adventuring into the unknown, which is cool. So there's a lot of very fun little things to get into here, and hopefully one of those is not trouble. So add the Quinta da Regaleira to your list if you love these fantasy novels and just fantastical kind of places to walk around and explore. The main house itself too has some beautiful designs, beautiful mosaics on the floor, and you get to really see the sense of how these people lived here. It's quite amazing. Now we decided to go and get some food because that is essential for a day of travel, and the first stop, our snack on the way to dinner, was the quijada. Now, the quijada is a snack famous in Sintra, and it's actually a cheese pastry, and it was very thick. It was super interesting. The shell breaks easily, and then the inside is very dense. It was delicious. Trying to figure out where to eat. We had some sugar cheese pastries, which marketed as the pastries of Sintra. Who knows if that is actually true or not. They're really good though. We're walking to find dinner, and we're at that sweet spot where most things are closed because it's like 5:30, things open at 7:30 for dinner. And maybe we'll go to the Pizza Hut by the train station. Totally joking, but last minute resort. We're hoping this will be open. Read it. This restaurant, Metamorphosis, runs parallel to the train station, and you really get to walk through these cute little buildings of Sintra in the town, and it looks like from Mario Party 8, Koopa's Tycoon Town. The hotel buildings, they're all so cute and painted in these pastel colors. Anyways, this restaurant is amazing and definitely my top recommendation for Sintra. That was a salmon collar and my brother got the octopus, and the flavors here are so good. I don't know what they did to these vegetables, but we all agreed these were the best vegetables we had had in our entire lives. They're seasoned so amazingly. It was immaculate, and there was such attention to detail just with the broccoli itself. Was delicious. Sintra is an amazing place to go and visit, and if you want to see more Portugal videos, I have more coming up and a lot already made, so you can click in this playlist to check those out.